Third frame, Luca Brecel to break.
What a start from the 21-year-old Belgian. 2 breaks of 83. Shaun Murphy has potted just 2 balls in the opening 2 frames. Brecel already halfway to a place in round 2.
Plenty of safety shot options here, playing off the side of the bunch, or that red below it perhaps. Might be a shot to nothing. The most important part is the cue ball where it is now, actually. That's a good shot. Covered plenty of reds there.
Already Murphy at the stage where he knows he can ill afford to make too many more mistakes. Not that he's made a lot so far. He's just been frozen out. But 2-0 down in a race to 4 is a sticky situation.
I guess that's what he's got to start doing more of, getting Luca Brecel up against that bulk cushion, because clearly he's potting well when given half a chance. Well, that could be a great kiss on the yellow ball. It's covered again, many reds.
And how often that seems to be the case when you're playing well and things are going your way, you get the rub of the green to go with it. On another day, he'd have left Murphy with this opening red. Just a reminder, you can ask our panel of experts any question concerning the second leg of the home nations, the Northern Ireland Open. Dennis Taylor, Jimmy White, Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, here as well this week. The all folds here in the commentary box. Hashtag home nations for any questions about this tournament, the season, prospects for the remainder of the campaign, who might win, who's in form, who's struggling. Keep your comments coming.
Been a good start from Luca Brecel. He's hardly missed a ball, actually. Pot success is already very high, 96%, and that's 51 pots from 53. He missed a pink at the end of the last frame when the frame was over, which didn't amount to anything. So in live play, he's barely missed anything worth seeing.
And Murphy has only attempted 3 pots, missing 1, so he's missed 1 ball and he's 2-0 down. That's the way it goes sometimes. Doesn't matter how good you are. If your opponent's monopolising the table, you are powerless to do anything about it. Such a big frame, this one, though. If Brecel were to win this as well, then Murphy really would have his work cut out. And again, a good result for the Belgian, following the safety error. Yes, perfect strength on the cue ball from Murphy.
Well, great top this time. I don't think anything much will come of it, but it just goes even further to confirm how well he's seeing them. He'll slip in a good safety shot here. Even Brecel isn't going to keep this break going or even try to.
Luca Brecel, 1.
8 tables in use, of course, here in Belfast to get through all of the matches. Here are some of the results so far today. Plenty more still to come, of course, here on the main match table. The Rocket and the Whirlwind both in action later. Joe Perry already a winner today.
Pretty good match over on the other table as well, currently, with Zhu Yulong and Matthew Stevens 3-all. It was Zhu Yulong in front, and he looked like winning 4-2, but Matthew Stevens 50-odd behind, cleared up to win the previous.
Matthew, another player who's been struggling for any sort of form recently. He's fallen quite significantly down the rankings. The former UK and Masters champion, twice World Championship finalist. Another terrific shot, and he's got position to go with it.
What a shot, and what a result. But who's to say he doesn't deserve it? I mean, he's hit this as hard as you can hit a ball, I should think. I mean, didn't really know that he was going to finish there on the pink, but it's given him this chance once again.
Seven. 8.
Well, the reds below the pink, which of course is on the black spot, are going to be a problem. They're quite difficult to avoid. They use a lot of screw to get away from those. He's played it very nicely. Didn't hit it too hard, otherwise the spin might not have gripped. He's still going to hit the reds that way.
14. 15.
As we've explained with Luca Brecel, nothing really since after he reached the final of the German Masters. He actually got into the final of the snooker shootout as well at that period of time. But it was never going to be long that he was out of the limelight, because he's such a good player. Whatever it was that was stopping him, he seems to have freed himself of that problem
21.
here. He's been as good as anybody here in this first 2.5 frames.
A number of first-round
22.
exits this season, as Colin alluded to at the start of our programme, and just one round of 32 appearance. That was at the European Masters. Hard to fathom when you see him queuing as well as he is right now.
Yeah, even that shot, screwing it round
28.
perfectly on the next red. He's got to keep his concentration together.
$29.
And Murphy, sitting in his chair, must be wondering what he's done to deserve this. Luca Brecel playing at his best, just as a number of players have been against that man in recent times. Could scarcely have done anything about this so far.
36.
And there is confirmation of the dominance of Brecel.
37.
Now here's the problem again. He didn't get on the pink perfectly, and those two reds could come into play here. Now, does he play the cannon and develop them, or does he try and avoid them?
$43. 44.
Luca needs to be a little careful. Of course, the pink spot is now available, so won't go on it in the black spot. He doesn't want to snooker himself on that red that is in the middle of the table.
$50.
This match is just an example, Philip, of how snooker is such a difficult game for players. When you're sitting in your chair, there is literally nothing you can do. Whereas other sports, you've got some way of right of reply almost.
It's a real mental test, isn't it, in this situation?
Yes, and of course,
51.
it doesn't really matter who's sitting there. Greatest player of all time, or whatever. But as long as the guy who's at the table isn't playing the player, the guy sitting down is helpless.
Brecel's pot percentage success now up to 97. That is sky high. He's barely put a foot wrong. And Murphy has barely had a pot to go at.
55. 56.
Once again, pretty close to the winning line in this third frame. Just 67 remaining. So this red will suffice for Brecel, and Murphy will be at the snooker's required stage again.
62. 63.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed him before the game, and he used the expression he's been running into a few brick walls lately. In other words, lost to John Higgins last week, who became champion of champions. Week before, he was unlucky as well.
69.
I mean, he's run into another one here, one that seemed less likely.
70.
Nothing in the form book to suggest that Brecel was going to play this well today. But he's underlining just what a talent he is and what potential he has. He is only 21, remember.
74. 75.
He's been around quite a while now, of course, when he made that record at the Crucible, becoming the youngest player ever to play at the World Championship. That was back in 2012. Quarter-finalist at the UK Championship the same year.
79.
Semi-finals of the Welsh last year. and the final appearance in Berlin
80.
earlier this year. But in between, quite a lot of disappointing results as well. His third 80 break, though, of this match. It's been remarkable stuff.
84.
And once again, the opening red was a
85.
cruncher. That he hit it almost as hard as he could. I'm a bit lucky to land on the pink. Not looked back since.
$90.
Finds the brown in an unorthodox position as he eyes a possible century. It's not a bad positional shot.
92.
Well, Philip, it's absolutely brilliant snooker by any standards. This is absolutely stunning
95.
performance. And he's playing all the shots in the brook here.
Just the blue then
99.
for what would be a very well-merited century. Sublime snooker from the Belgian. The crowd enjoying it.
104.
What a talent he is. Maddeningly inconsistent, maybe, but when he plays like this, he is a joy to watch. Well, Murphy rendered powerless.
$110.
What a stunning clearance of 117 from Luca Brecel to go with that pair of 83 breaks. Shaun Murphy reduced